All right, let's get it.
All right, Colin, go ahead and just take it away, brother. I'll edit out the beginning of where I'm talking right now, and I'll just pick up right where you start talking.
All right. Well, thanks, Bump Podcast, for having me on. I think it's really cool acronym how you have monsters and paranormal all involved and unsolved. It's very cool. Good use of words. I'm a fan of words myself. I'm an author, an explorer, a musician, and just a Renaissance man, like we were just saying. But I'm really just the countryman, a guy that doesn't need much. I moved from Ohio down to Florida like 3 or 4 years ago, and I used this app called Couch Surfing that I lived out of my car, and I got to stay with people. And the first people I stayed with were a punk rock musical in Lakeland, and they were just putting their cast together. And I arrived right on Wednesday when the first photo shoot was Saturday. So I was on the ground floor, and I really needed a place to stay. So I was all in, and they ended up hiring me as the stage manager and one of the actors on the show. So I really got thrown into the Florida culture. But growing up in Ohio, I was surrounded by Indian mounds and local lore like the Witch's Ball, Crybaby Bridge, the Ohio Grassman, Lake Eerie Monster, a serpent just like the Nessie creature over in Scotland. So I've always just been into the other side, the fourth kind, heaven and hell, angels and demons. I went to the Smithsonian and I was knocking on the doors trying to see where they're hiding the bones of the skeletons of the giants, but they ran us out of there, And I've been in cars with high-ranking politicians talking secrets, and I'm really into the next level stuff. I throw people for a loop. When they think I'm a burnout, I write a book. They think I'm a crazy person, I'm just talking with the president. It's all about the next level and pulling off the unknown and the unthinkable. And that's what I'm all about. So I'm Connor. I'm from Ohio. I'm 28. I live in Florida now. And man, I'm just part of the swamp, part of the gators, the skunk ape, and the cheesy wild man. Then you got me, the long-haired crazy dude, playing guitar on the tree stumps, talking to the fish and frogs. So it's an honor to be here, and I'm pumped to just bump it out and talk about some wild things for sure. And I love your setup back there, man. I see the Flatwoods Monster, Mothman, a bunch of Sasquatch stuff. And I want to get into talking about that statue that your grandfather found in Cleveland. That is crazy, man. I'm a big fan of the archaic knowledge and what's being hidden from us. But even seeing that sent a chill up my spine. That showed me exactly where I need to be, is right here, right now with you, man. It was meant to be. And what's premiering tonight as well. I thought that was really cool that you're making an appearance in Finding Bigfoot. And today is the day that the episode's coming out with me talking about Big Brother Bigfoot. Like, dude, it's meant to be, bro. It's so meant to be. I'm right in the right spot. I love it. So let's get it popping, man. What's up? How was your day?
Hey, I'm good, brother. I love the introduction, man. I like your energy. You're so much fun. You make me feel like I'm an old man. I love it.
Hey, man, energy's not created or destroyed. We've always existed, dude. We've always just existed from the beginning of time. And heck yeah, I'm still high up on the Super Bowl win. If it ain't the Cleveland Browns, it's got to be the Buccaneers, man. And Brady got his seventh, man. It's awesome. But Otto Graham still has more championships. The Cleveland quarterback, Cleveland got championships when they were called championships, not Super Bowls. So everybody calling him the GOAT better do their research, because Brady still has a couple more to catch up to the true GOAT, Otto Graham. And the Cleveland Browns are the Cleveland Browns, man. The Bigfoot, the Ohio Grassman, the Dog Man, like the Dog Pound. Come on, man. The Tennessee Titans, San Francisco Giants, New York Giants. It's all based on the mound builders and our ancestors and the things they're trying to hide. No wonder they're trying to get rid of the Cleveland Indians and the Washington Redskins. 20 years from now, people aren't even going to know what Native Americans look like. It's going to be a myth. It's going to be the white man found America. That's a joke. That is a joke. There are pyramids. There are temples. There's pottery that goes way back further than Christopher Columbus. Christopher Columbus never even came to America, and they still have the nerve to have Columbus Day. Come on, man. We're living in like a PG movie. We need to grow up. Take the mask off our eyes, unlift the veil. Let's live a little. Let's channel our DNA. Energy is not created nor destroyed. It's always existed. We need to stop acting like we were born yesterday, man. I'd rather take a crew of people literally born yesterday than half of these adults out here driving with, alone in their, I don't even want to get into it. People are crazy. They want to say I'm crazy for believing in ghosts and ancestors. They're crazy. They're crazy. Yeah. I can't even get into how crazy they are. They watched America get flipped upside down, elections stolen, all of our veterans. What did they fight for if they're just gonna, steal things and stomp on things and light our sacred papers on fire, dude? They were mad when Nicolas Cage stole the Declaration of Independence. What about when they burned the Constitution right in front of our faces? And then most of America is just like, yep, we need to keep warm. Come on, man. We traded our gems for paper money. And that paper money could just be turned off like that. They tell us there's a coin shortage. From what? From what? Oh, you don't even know what I was, like what, they're putting coins somewhere that the sun don't shine? No, there's not a coin shortage. What a joke. Did all the fairies from the unknown lands and lore steal all the coins? Come on, that's more believable than the BS they're telling us, dude. That is, and I'm telling you right now, fairies taking all the coins is more believable than whatever BS they had posted on the banks and at Burger King. Man, look at Taco Bell, dude. Look at the bell. It's the serpent's eye, dude. We are surrounded. CBS, TBS, TNT, it's all the same thing. They're all just looking at us trying to steal our soul. I ain't got time for it. I'm not handing over mine, man. I'm trying to get to heaven. I'm trying to talk to our ancestors. I'm not trading in for something cheap, dude. I'm not, man. And most of America is, most of the world is. But the places that they're not folding over are not being talked about. Not being talked about at all, being swept on the rug. But people like you and me are waking up because we had enough, dude. It's 2021. It's February. Come on. But Walking Dead's coming soon. I Am Legend is coming soon. It is scary times. No wonder the Sasquatch and the Mothman and the ghosts are just hanging out right now. They're just letting us hellions, eat each other and ruin this time of ours, our sacred time on this planet. We just disgusted it and just are sickening, man. We need to find our soul, find the essence, find what makes heaven and hell in ourselves. We're caught in a weird middle ground right now, and it's empty here, man. We need to find something deep inside of us, and that's what I'm trying to just wake up. I hope my energy could just brush off on a couple people a day. I get all fired up at the comic book store every day when people come in acting wrong, and I'm telling them I write a Bigfoot book, and they laugh at me. I'm like, oh, okay. There's 10,000 reports every month, and now at this point, if you watch How to Hunt, Dixie Cryptid, Cryptids Canada, David Paulides, Swamp Dweller, all of them, I've narrated over 500 encounters myself that haven't even been reported anywhere else or recorded anywhere else. It's just a shame that people want to bury their head in the sand rather than wake up and face reality. Our ancestors were giants. Giants still surround us. Mermaids are real. Atlantis is real. Jack and the Beanstalk was based on a true story. James and the Giant Peach has some truth. Walt Disney, the rocket going above the kingdom, that means the firmament. That's the dome. Heaven's a physical place. The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. Handiwork isn't used on a metaphor. Dude, it's a real physical place. Up is up, down is down. When we die, our spirit goes up to heaven or down where the sun don't shine, man. But people think it's a freaking metaphor and heaven's a metaphor and everything's just fun and games and we'll find out when we find out. No, we can have the answers now. We've always had the answers. Energy's never created nor destroyed, dude. We've always had the answers. It's always right here. It's right inside our fingerprint, right inside our mind, right inside our thoughts, our speech. We spell words, man. Just look at the algorithms, look at the frequencies, look at the vibrations. The answers are there, but we just are so blinded with our Xboxes and our Wi-Fi and our daily jobs that just pay the bare minimum, and we're fighting over $7 or $15. It's all a freaking joke when they have billions of dollars and they just pin everybody against each other. Blacks versus whites, chiefs versus Bucks, United States versus China, Saddam and Osama being bad guys. Like, dude, CIA trained Osama bin Laden. Saddam
Yeah.
Hussein had archaic things that George Bush and America needed, so they said they had weapons. They killed villages of innocent people. Like, it's not cool. And then the American soldiers come back and they come back with their problems, and then that causes generations of people that just have trauma and just confusion. So look what we've created, America. We need to take a step back and realize who we are. And I think it goes back to, who are our real ancestors? Are they really Europeans, or do they come back? Are they come back from America in ancient times? Is the story from Egypt just a story of time, or actually over there by the Euphrates River? I don't know. In my first book, I talk about the road trip to Eden, the Garden of Eden, possibly being here in Florida, because there's a trail about 20 minutes from here that is one of the most strenuous hikes in Florida. It has 27 of the 28 trees that are mentioned in the Bible. It also has gopher wood, that's also known as Torreya. That's what Noah used to build the ark. The only place it grows in the whole world is right here. The good book, the Bible, also describes a delta that breaks into 4 rivers. And the only 2 places in the world are here in Siberia. So there is some ancient ties here. And there's deep valleys, and tornadoes have hit, Civil War fatalities. There's definitely some ley lines through there. Stacy Brown and his father took the greatest thermal Bigfoot footage known and released right at Torreya State Park, right across the river. So it's just sacred ground. And I get into that in my book. And I talk about my journey from Lake Erie down to the Florida swamps, and everything in between. And everything is connected. Like, dude, I'll talk about Bigfoot and the Power Rangers and the Nun, and then the Ring 2 and Passion of the Christ, and then what we did this morning and how they are cloning presidents and beef at Taco Bell. We just need to wake up. Everything's connected. There's a meteor storm coming in April. What does that mean? What the heck does that mean? We just need to absorb everything and move forward with positivity. We need to stop getting fooled by the news and all of our stupid, old, freaking just burdens. It's just burdens. Everybody's just trying to deal with their burdens from the past, and they're so scared to move forward. We need to be cleansed as a nation. Heaven just needs to rain down again. Noah, get the boat ready, get the gopher wood, because I think the flood's coming soon. And all the crater holes, where the heck is the meteor? I don't see it. You pour glass water into the mud, it makes that shape. All craters is when the God above, creator, the God is just a title. The translation of what the word God is I am what I am. So that's what God is. I am what I am. So we are what we are. Inside us, in our deepest genetic DNA, the deepest you could go, we're God. We were made in his image. And us, as protons and electrons, we could be particles, which is solid, and waveform, that is wave, spirit form. And that's when Sasquatch, they talk about him being paranormal and supernatural. Well, he and she, they are just the true beings of this planet. And they can really access their true self. So they can control if they're particle or waveform. So, supernatural just means it's so natural that it's super. They have infrasound. They have echolocating system. How octopuses can change color? Well, they could do that too. Maybe not to the same extent, but they could still blend in with their background because they have translucent hair, just like Scott Carpenter proved in his genome project. And they can vibrate their hairs at such a pace that it makes it blurry. They are blurs. They're living blurs. Just like the predator, when he goes in and he could, become a blur, and literally how he sees thermal. Come on, man, that's a Bigfoot movie right there. If you watch David Paulides' Mystic 401 The Hunted, they talk about an encounter that they saw a spaceship in Ohio, and then a woman was hunting right by the school that they saw. As a whole band saw it, the whole school band. And then she saw a creature turn into a blur in the woods. And that's some crazy stuff, man. That's some crazy stuff. I'm all about, Bigfoot and troglodytes being our ancestors and just the wild men, but if they have abilities that they can really become spirit form, then wow, portals exist. It all exists. But that's coincidence is the only thing to never exist. That's the first line of the book. Coincidence is the only thing to never exist. Dragons exist, monkeys that talk exist, mermaids, different planets, different stars, walking trees, boulders that can just absorb you, different worlds below our feet, Middle Earth. Come on, man. The human brain cannot make anything up. You could just access what's already in the cloud, the tree of life, the fountain of youth. It's already inside of us. We've all taken a sip of water, haven't we? Come on, we're all one. We're all a seed of this planet. You go in the dirt or you become ash. But your spirit goes into heaven. And that's the true question. What's heaven like? They want to say, what's the afterlife? What's heaven like, man? I'm trying to go to God's kingdom and see what's what. And that's what pushes me forward and drives a lot of this energy. And when people start talking sideways, I come at them sideways because I've just had enough, man. Because the evil people are really pushing things, and they got everyone acting backwards right now. That we have to start standing up with the voice, and it's really intimidating to see what's happening. Because we knew this was coming, they're going to lock us down. They're going to send us to Walmart, put us in the coffins. Dude, we've already saw that on Reddit in 2001, right after they faked the 9/11. They bombed the buildings. I don't even know if there was a freaking plane, and they have everybody saying there's a plane because that's what's cool to say. And I'm crazy for saying that. That's what they want me to say, want me to be. But dude, the World Trade Center dropped at free fall speed in a demolition. No one could tell me different. And people will be like, oh, it was the fires. Dude, wake up, man. Wake up. It was Project Bluebeam, it was a freaking hologram. They were doing that. They were doing that in 2001. I'm ready for what they're about to do. They're going to fake an alien invasion and really push everybody underground in their tunnels. I'm just going to stay in my house and they can laser me with their laser beams.
You know what? I think that Project Bluebeam is going to happen by summer. By this summer, I see something happening. But
that's scary, man. And them admitting about the UFOs, being real. It's all connected.
They got 180 days to dump everything they know about UFOs, and I think they're going to they'll bring out the big guns. They'll bring out the light show for that. It sounds like we are on so close to the same path, man. Everything you said, every word you said, I agree with. And I don't get a chance to say it much. Even on this show, I tend to steer away from things that people consider, PC or conspiracy talk or whatever, but it's truth talk. It's just uncomfortable for people to hear it. But I am thrilled. I am thrilled that you're out here and you're talking about it. You're open about it. And the first line of your book, if you would, why don't you hold that book up again and tell me about it? It's the Eerie Swamps, right?
Yeah, this is my baby, man. Eerie Swamps, Road Trip to Eden. And it documents my story traveling down from Lake Erie down to Florida. And I grew up, fishing on Lake Erie, hearing about the Lake Erie monster, and then camping. So hearing about the lake or the Ohio Grassman, and then there's many famous haunted prisons by my house, and the Moundsville prison where Charles Manson, his mom was kept. So he grew up there as a little kid, and it's also in the Fallout games, and that's where Castle Rock was filmed and Mindhunter. So it's very sacred grounds, and there was a lot of executions. It's one of the most haunted places on that side of the Mississippi. And then where Shawshank Redemption was filmed is the Mansfield Penitentiary, and grew up going there as well and going to haunted excursions during the Halloween season. And there's a story of Phoebe Wise. She's a woman that was killed by robbers, and I get into her story, and we may have seen her on our encounter after we left the prison. And handful of crazy stuff, but I'll just read the back to it because it's I think I've worded it pretty well. Eerie Swamps will be a voyage through time and space that will hopefully lead us to the Garden of Eden. We will be exploring campfire stories, behemoth cryptids, and urban legends that blanket the Lake Erie Boulevard down to the Florida swamps. On our quest for consciousness and hidden knowledge, we will be uncovering secrets of the modern world that may bridge us to ancient times. Light your lanterns. Things are about to get spooky. And it's a journey, man, and I'm really proud of it because it's really just a diary, and it's kind of like an autobiography. And I've been working on it for since I was a kid, really, because when I was 8, I have a journal from year 2000, literally right before 9/11, and I say I want to be a writer, a singer, and a basketball player. And it's really cool because I'm a referee, and then I still sing and play guitar and make hip hop music. And then I finally became a officially published author because I wrote for my school paper and I wrote for a couple MMA magazines, and writing has always been a big passion of mine. And I like made thousands of rap songs, and I, got so many bridges burned with me because I was like the white kid trying to rap when really I was just the future author writing, trying to get my words out in any way I could, So like all my friends' parents who turned their back on me and family members that turned their back on me, they were just so short-sighted. They didn't really see it all, but in their defense, maybe I got a little bit loco, but never went to jail or anything. So come on, it was all training to be attacking the Ocheesee Wild Man and the Honey Island Swamp Monster. I had to get ready somehow. So it's been a journey, and I'm really proud of it. And it was the first of many because I'm working on like a whole series. It's called History Rewinds. So it's kind of like history repeats, but rewinds like film, because I believe all films are based on true stories. So like I said, nothing could be made up. It's all just pulling from the cloud, like real archaic knowledge and truth and ancient forbidden truths that they've tried to put under the dirt. And that's what I think is wild. I have a picture of me holding a mound builder's thumb, and I really thought that Amazon was somehow gonna like flag that and not let me put it in the book and stuff, but they're pretty open. All I gotta do is play by the format and probably not say any hate speech, which is fine by me. I don't want to provide any hate speech. So it was the start of something great, man. And then came Big Brother Bigfoot, and Eerie Swamps Road Trip to Eden is like my diary. That's like me journaling, and literally like journaling over the years. This is my baby. This is my project. This is my research, Eerie Swamps just happened to me, That was my journey moving from Ohio to Florida, living out of my car, surviving. This was me hitting the road and researching, feet in the dirt. Big Brother Bigfoot talks about like 15 different Sasquatch creatures, Bigfoot type creatures that I've researched over the years and somewhat encountered. I've had roars. I've had a couple sightings firsthand of their face with the Wolfman, the Dogman. I'll get into that a little bit later. The Wolfman of Sleepy Hollow. And if anybody is a fan of Vic Cundiff, Dogman Encounters, it was a recent episode. Just type in the Dogman of Sleepy Hollow, and it has like 35,000 views. It was really cool because it was a platform of people that just got it. And, I got to be myself and have energy. And a lot of the comments are like, I love this kid, and it really was cool, because again, I was where I needed to be in the right time. So I love telling that story, but I might as well tell a story real quick. I was at my buddy Alex's house in Sleepy Hollow. First, let me actually, at the end of each book, I have a letters from family and friends chapter. And my two buddies that were with me that night and that are connected to this story, I had them type up, what happened in their encounter. So it's very cool to have it, and I also love that chapter, the letters from family and friends, because, I could tell the story and blah, 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 but they'll just be like, that's crazy Connor. But if I could provide a spider web of people around me that can vouch for me in our situations and their own situations, I can maybe show a glimpse or a gleam to people of purity, of the truth, the clarity, It's like, dude, the news isn't it. You know, whatever the fourth grade teacher told you on science class isn't it. I could promise you I looked into it a little bit more. I promise you. Because I have friends, they're fourth grade teachers now, and they don't look into it. They're drinking. You know, they're drinking. like they're drinking. Come on. I'm writing books about this stuff and they're drinking. Come on, man. Come on. But the coolest part about the letters from family and friends was I found out my granddad's sister had an encounter in Ireland with a banshee like 60 or 70 years ago. So it's only my duty to tell her story and to tell our story, man. And I'm related to the Fitzgerald family, so them killing JFK was really close to my heart. So, and I visited Dealey Plaza and really channeled my ancestors. And dude, he was the last president that stood for us. He made a statement about how they're trying to enslave us, and then 13 days later he gets his brain blown out, and then they don't even find the killer. What a crazy thing. Oh my God, you know, wow. But it's my Mal Flynn, my great aunt that I never got to meet, and she got denied and laughed at so much. I'm doing this for her. And just telling the story of all the people, man. All the people that are vanishing and missing 401. All the people that had to leave their homestead because Bigfoot came for their freaking dogs and cats and their own house, beating down doors and stuff, you know. Port Chatham, Alaska, people research it. Like a whole village had to leave because most of the men were being killed. Like when people say there's no evidence, based on what? Based on what? No evidence? No evidence? Oh, what? What are you talking about? Based on what, dude? Based on what? That's a Bigfoot, a possible Bigfoot that I got a picture of from a back camera hiking here in Florida. And I have like 5 crazy blurry pictures. But like I said, you know, people harass me because it's blurry. But like I told you, they have abilities. They were the true beings of this earth. They have abilities to shake their hair and make it seem blurry. So the fact that you can even capture one in a picture, like, dude, everybody expects the Patterson-Gimlin quality. Well, they killed 5 Sasquatches to get that. They massacred her family. They buried her baby under there to get that. And she has a big wound on her leg. She was shot at that point, dude. They broke her will at that point. Like, but in some countries, Sasquatch is a known thing. Over in Russia, they had that one lady, Zana, that they broke her will and they mated with her. And they still have her son's skull. Like, come on, man. I'm so sick of people saying there's no evidence when we're swimming in it. Just because the military and the government is doing a good job of sweeping it under the rug doesn't mean it doesn't exist. I don't have time for that. That's silly talk, you know? Like, come on, we're grown-ups. Are we gaga gooing or are we talking? Like, I'm about to slap some of these people. You know, they want to come at me and say Bigfoot's fake. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Most of what you say is fake. Donkey versus the elephant.
Backhand him with your book.
Yeah, that's why I wrote the book, so I can have a tangible thing to, because my friends make fun of me, man. They say, you still believe in Bigfoot, bro? Like, man, how could I not? There's bones. Like, you still believe there's not one. What if we prove it? Then you're embarrassing, dude. Your favorite football team's the Tennessee Titans, but you don't believe in Bigfoot. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That's like the Cincinnati Bengals not believing in tigers. Like, that's a joke. That's a joke, man. I'm so sick of people sweeping stuff under the rug and be like, it didn't exist. Like, in this election showed it all, man. Like, my sister was talking to me yesterday. She's like, all these people who still have their Trump signs in their yard are so ignorant. And I'm like, that's like the most patriotic thing you could do right now. They stole the election. The last thing you can say is, well, I actually stood for America, you know? Like, I didn't just allow them just to, you know, oh my God, 130,000 consecutive votes? Like, dude, not for Joe Jorgensen, not for anybody but that guy. Come on, that clone. Look at pictures of him 3 years ago. Look at pictures of him now. He switched what hand he writes with. His ears look different. Dude, there's no American pride right now. No one is proud to be an American. No one's boasting it. And I know people would say during, you know, Homeboy's presidency that American pride was racist. I don't think it was all racist. Sadly, his voice spoke to racist people, just like rappers' voice speaks to hood gangster people. Is that the rapper's fault? Is that president's fault? No, it's just people. I'm getting the message, dude. Like, people want to stir things so up, man. What a joke. Kamala Harris said she believed his accusers years ago, and now she's his vice president. Get the heck out of here. Get the heck out of here. Like, what a joke. You have to be fooled to be on that side. You have to be fooled. And I hate to even bring politics into it, but it's got to be paranormal. It's supernatural for people to be that stupid or that fooled or that just like passive. Like, they're just like, okay, we don't care that you're lying to us. Just keep us fed and keep reality TV on, and we'll be fine. And I think that's most people. They're just not brave enough to be an outcast and not brave enough to stand up to it. Motherfucker, I'm standing up to it, you know? But let me raid my buddy's encounters, and it will go into my Wolfman encounter. And this happened when I was like 12, 13 years old, before a golf league. And this really rung the bell on my cryptid research. And it really shook me to my bones. I remember it was one of the most scared times I've ever had. But first goes Alex. Well, I guess my statement would be, I take a left on the Sunrise Oval. Oh yeah, my bad. Alex and Jake are two best friends, and they were there too at the golf encounter. Or yeah, before the golf encounter. But months before, they had their own encounter with this creature. So I heard about this creature for months before I slept over there. All right. So, well, I guess my statement would be, I take a left on the Sunrise Oval off of Sleepy Hollow Road. As we pull in, we stop because we think a deer is crossing the road. When we look, though, it wasn't a deer. It was something on two legs that ran across the road faster than the average person could run. It ran up the hill in almost a gallop. And then Jake said, pulling up to Sleepy Hollow neighborhood, woods to the left, big field, and a hill to the right, with a red barn on top of the hill. As we were pulling in slowly, we see a figure crossing the street on two legs, resembling a werewolf, Bigfoot, bigger than a human. And as soon as it crosses the street, it dead sprints up towards the barn, running faster than humanly possible. Still feels like a dream. Pretty wild. And then the second part of Alex's talks about my encounter. Second story, I believe you were there, but we heard rustling outside my walkout basement. When we looked outside the window, there were eyes like 5'5" to 6 foot looking in the window, taller than any known Ohio animal could stand. And yeah, we were playing pool in his basement the night before golf, and his house was decked out. So I was excited to be over there. It was my first time ever sleeping over there at his new house, because him and Jake used to be neighbors, and then Alex moved to this new place. And I was really excited to golf and sleep over there and, just be a part of it all. And I heard about the Wolfman, but it wasn't really on my to-do list or anything. I was really just happy to be there. But then we're playing pool in his basement, and we hear rustle. Well, a strange feeling just overwhelms us. And we start getting a little cautious, and we hear rustling outside. So we turn off all the lights down in the basement, and then we're all peeking through a little window like this. And then we see it, just a silhouette of this creature down in the den, probably like 20 to 40 yards away. And we just saw it from like its chest up, and it was a hulking creature. And it was definitely a wolf man, a dog man. And now I look back and I hear so many stories. I really think it was a werewolf, like it might have had a man-like abilities and conscious thoughts, and it may transform. A lot of that gets really weird because there's different types of creatures out there. There's these big wolves, these black dogs, these demon dogs, kind of like Resident Evil. And then there's like these werewolves, lycanthropes, and all the Rougarou, other things they call them, like down in Louisiana. But there's so many. Did he get bit by a wolf and then turn into this thing? Did he sin for 7 years? Is it in his blood, in his DNA, like Michael J. Fox? I'm not sure, but it just looked at us for just a couple seconds, but it felt like a lifetime. Then we dove away like into the stairwell, and then ended up peeking back, minutes later, and it was gone. And then we ended up freaking out, for a while. And then we turned on Saving Private Ryan. And I remember I was on the ground, just curled up, because it was a whole walkout basement, glass doors top to bottom, totally vulnerable. you know? So I'm there like curled up with the blanket over me, literally shivering because I'm so scared now. Like I forgot about it for a bit, but once I slowed down and we were back there laying down, you could just feel like something was just watching you or just had the ability to snatch you right up. And after a while, we all connected. I don't even remember like were we talking about it or anything. But after a while, we ended up going from the basement all the way to the top floor in Alex's room to sleep. And that's like I called Alex before the Dogman Encounter radio just to like touch up on the details and see if he had any other encounters. And he's like, yeah, man, we slept upstairs like that. We would have never slept upstairs. Like downstairs was always the basement, the sleepover spot. And we slept upstairs because we could not handle it. And then he also used to say that out of his upstairs room, he used to hear man-like owl calls. And he even used to say to his parents that it sounds like a man making owl calls. And like when he was a kid, you know, before the internet really took off and all that, you know, characteristics of a Bigfoot and stuff. Like, dude, it's so crazy and it sent chills up my spine. And there's a drive-in theater that's abandoned back there and like an old swimming hole that has like a cement block for a diving board. Like, and there's an part of the woods is called Caves and Cliffs. So I believe there's caves and labyrinths below, caverns that travel from, you know, America to Africa, from Nevada to Florida. Everything's connected. The tunnels below our feet. And there's a lot of theories about like the Thetas and Bigfoot's digging holes under our feet for 13,000 years, waiting for society to fall so they can reclaim their earth. And honestly, as time goes by, I'm starting to think that's a little bit more towards the truth than anything, you know? And I believe I'm big on Middle Earth, and you know, they've only dug like 12 kilometers down, and then they reach their like impenetrable barrier. So they have no clue what's down there, no clue what the truth is, man. They push out movies like The Core and Gemini Man and a bunch of BS, you know, even like Interstellar. I love Interstellar, but I'm not falling for NASA's BS, man. I believe in heaven. I believe in, you know, the sun and the moon inside our system. You know, I don't believe in like Uranus and stuff like that. Planets are deities in our systems. They're not floating rocks you can go to. Stanley Kubrick filmed the moon landing. He comes out and says it in The Shining. He changed the room number to a certain number to say that he filmed the moon landing. And then he's with Warner von Braun in pictures and other leaders from NASA. Like, it's such a joke that our whole reality and like American pride is an illusion. Like, how we found this country is not true. You know, the Native Americans were here for so long, and then there were tribes of people before them, the mound builders. No one's talking about the mound builders in history class. They're talking about Christopher Columbus. He's never even been to this country.
Yep, and the Adena people too, right? The mound builders and the Adena people in our area.
Yeah, 100%, man. And there's many little people like the hobbits, and they get small, dude, like fairies, the whole thing. They exist. The elves, the trolls, like, dude, Santa, that story came from somewhere, you know? There's land beyond the poles. Admiral Byrd will tell you that. He got the Medal of Honor, so I take his word for it. He found luscious jungles beyond the poles. He found mammoths, you know? Other beings that gave him tips to peace and sanctuary. But no, he comes back and, you know, we lock him up and throw him in a loony bin. It's a shame, man. It's a freaking shame. That's why I'm just trying to get my story out here, you know, get it in print, get it distributed. So if they attack me, you know, they burn my trailer down, then at least they could get my words one day, you know. And that's a shame that you have to be scared to say the truth, you know. It makes me think back to Salem. Like, why were they killing those girls? I don't think because they were the witches. Like, they were not witches like people think, you know. I think they were just onto some truth. You know, they might have found out the forbidden they just found out what they were not supposed to about the people coming over from England, man. It's sad. Most of our history is like, it's just a joke. It's history. It's his story. It's his story. It's his story. It's nothing. It's not the truth. It's not the truth. Right. It's his story. It's his story. We got to look at our words. Horizon, horizontal, sea level. Like, people believe in curved oceans. Dude, I deep sea fish. 21 miles out. I'll tell you right now, it did not curve 400 feet. I'll tell you right now, sea level. And people will be like, no, well then I could see across to Europe, can't I? No, you can't even see the end of a long hallway. Like eyes don't work like that. Perspective, you know?
Yep.
But the horizon will always raise to eye level. I will promise you that. Heaven is real. The earth is flat. The devil controls the globe. The axis is 0.666. NASA means to deceive in Hebrew. Like, people, come on, wake up. Like, that's the thing, though. They're good. Most people are good people, but the devil is so intertwined in their life that just like their common practices through the day are worshiping the dark side. And that's what I'm trying to wake people up, man. You know, they're playing video games that are worshiping the false gods. The Baal, 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 however you want to spell it, man. That's a scary freaking monster that they're worshiping. Man,
Yep.
I'm not a big fan of Baphomet. I like God. I like clouds. I like trees. I like Mother Nature. Man, I ain't trying to go down there, man. And a lot of people, I think, are going to go down for not even knowing. And that's sad. And that's why I'll be the crazy one. I'll be the one putting my voice out there looking like I'm ignorant and misspoken and rude, but I'm fighting for the soul. I'm fighting for people. So hell yeah, I'll punch you in your face to save your life. What's the first thing they teach you to be a lifeguard, dude? If that person's squirming like this, which pretty much, if they believe that Australia is farther away than hell, for one, and then two, they think Australia is upside down right now, dude, I can call someone right now in Australia, and up is still up to them, and up is still up to me. Like, once someone tells you up is down and down is up, and once it gets to this point, it starts, turn it off, get off, man. That's a joke. Like, dude, I'll go to the Church of Scientology before any of that crap. You know, with Church of Scientology, they had like some crazy beliefs that, you know, these aliens like laid on the face of the earth when the sun was melting, and they got some programming. Like, that's some stuff, you know, compared to the crap that they're fishing at us. Dude, the Bible has 2,000 plus references of flat earth, you know, flat and immovable. The earth takes shape like clay under a seal. Come on, the earth takes shape like clay under a seal. And I had this guy that goes to the church like religiously. He's like, well, it depends how hard you press the seal. No, sir, no. God made this earth fixed and immovable. I'm pretty sure that's the first thing they tell you. In the four corners of earth, how could there be a corner on a basketball? I've never been dribbling and got like, oh, it got me in the corner. Oh, sorry, coach, I hit the corner and went out of bounds. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Neil deGrasse Tyson said it's an oblate shape. So is it a spear or an oblate shape? Is it a flying potato or no? No, we're in a dome. Look at the shield. Look at the ancient Hebrew conception of the universe. People will tell me, no, the Bible's just a metaphor. No, the Bible describes the ancient conception of the universe. You like the four corners, the moon and the sun are inside the firmament, the waters above. Dude, the sun and the moon are the same exact size, and they're exact opposites. And moonlight is moonlight. It's not a reflection of sunlight. Dude, put a flashlight on a basketball. It doesn't reflect. Like, put a flashlight on a rock. It doesn't reflect. People are silly, man. Like I said, they're taking a third grade teacher's word for it who's just following the curriculum. And this is just the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds that are writing this. Like, come on, let's write from the soul. Let's write God's work. And I don't care what religion you are. Heaven, in the next place, translate it into whatever religion you are, you know? Because I'm no religion. I'm just spiritual. I'm just a being, you know? But I know something is good up and something is bad down. And I'm trying, when I become spirit form, I'm trying to break through to the next level. I'm not trying to be trapped because I failed in this reality, because I was too ignorant to think outside the tunnel. I was too scared to flip the next page of the book, you know? People are scaredy cats, and I ain't got time for it, you know? People are walking around scared to death right now. I'm going to NFL games. I just went to Clemson, dude. Like, I'm chilling, man. I'm meeting new people. Like, and I'm being respectful of people's boundaries as well, you know.
Right.
But god dang it, man, don't be scared to live. People are like, when this is over, when what is over? This is the new world, man. Get up. you're gonna be locked in your room forever, or you're gonna get out and live. Like, I'm getting out and living, you know. But I definitely had to get the books published because they're gonna try to shut my job down because I sell comic books and fishing stuff and retro games. Guess what? In the new world, that's not important enough, you know, because only Walmart is important enough. What a freaking joke, man. And people like in the NBA, Kevin Durant is allowed to not start the game, but he can come in, and they're scared about the virus because of what the heck? There is no common sense behind any of this. Anthony Fauci, who can't even throw a baseball. Dude, I'm not going to take advice from someone who can't even throw a baseball. Like, dude, my mom can throw a freaking baseball. Yeah, come on, man. Now he's saying, you know, triple mask. Get the heck out of here with this BS, dude. It's BS. Most of the people that died in the Spanish flu were from their dirty mask getting pneumonia. Do your research, everybody. Come on. Like, everybody wants to come at me all sideways just because I read more. Like, when you were saying you agree with me, bro, I love that. Thank you. That just means me and you read a little bit. Me and you actually dug and like opened the refrigerator. We didn't just guess what was inside. We didn't just take our teacher's word for it. We opened that. You know, we're sipping through, man. I want some salad. Come on, man. Croutons. They don't want nothing. They don't want nothing. They find with their fast food that they freaking microwave. I haven't had a microwave in my house in like 6 years. Think that's very little. That's a small step, but think that helps my brain so much, man. It helps my brain so much.
Yep.
I get sick when people turn them on. I'm like, ugh, you guys zapping out of me, you know. Sometimes I want to turn my Wi-Fi off, man. But I got limited data on my phone.
Yeah. We gotta do what we gotta do in the meantime, don't we?
I know. I'm ready to go to the flip phone. You know, I'll pay some pretty girl to run my Instagram, and I'm gonna be living in a tent. You know, living in a tent. Working on my next books. That's what I'm gonna be doing. You know.
Okay, hold on. What's can you tell me a little bit about what's next? We got Eerie Swamps. That's your first.
Yeah,
right?
The whole series is gonna be Eerie Swamps, Road Trip to Eden, and I love this because like it's, you know, Eerie, Eriee is usually like Eerie, you know, and then but mine's Lake Erie, so it's Eerie Swamps, and then road trip is not even an actual American word. It's supposed to be road space trip, but I was like, dude, I'm writing it myself, you know, so like screw the American language. I make my own words up, you know, and I know that's like nothing, like, oh, you just made a conjunction, but like it's just funny to me, you know, that like people expect perfection. And like my buddy, he goes to FSU and he's in some writing class now, and he's getting freaked out by his teacher saying, oh, the editor wouldn't like this, and this. I told him, I said, I wrote 3 books this past few months. I had no editor. I edited my own. So don't get mad, and don't let any imaginary editor get in your way. Write your story, tell your story. And that's why school, you know, I went to Bowling Green. I had a great time in the film program, but I didn't graduate from there. And now I look back, I'm like, I could have just stayed with my friend that I wanted to stay with anyway, not even went to class because the teachers don't even take attendance, and you don't even have to go to the school to be in class. I remember this one kid, it was a film on Wednesdays. It was 6 to 9. He came all year. He didn't even pay. He didn't even go to the school, and he got to, you know, get an education. But some people will be like, what? That's a ripoff. You know, he didn't get a diploma. That right there. Are you paying to get a piece of paper? Or are you actually paying for the knowledge? That guy was just trying to get the knowledge. You know, he forbid paying, but like, dude, that just shows right there. Half college students aren't even care about what they're learning about. You know, they just care about the paper. But can you blame them? They're paying $80,000 for a piece of paper.
Yep. You got to have that piece of paper.
Like, everybody got flipped on their side. Some people thought their job was important. Now they had to get a new job, you know? So never be too high and never be too low, you know?
Amen.
But yeah,
Amen.
The first one is Eerie Swamps, Road Trip to Eden. Second one, Big Brother, Bigfoot. And then the third one is Monsters and Mysteries Around the Corner. And I really like this one too, because it's very similar to Eerie Swamps. It's about stories close to my heart, you know. And I road tripped from Florida to LA one summer, and we lived in New Orleans, Jackson, Mississippi, Dallas, Cuervo, New Mexico, Albuquerque, Las Cruces, LA, Phoenix, Tucson, made a lot of stops. And this has a lot to do with my journey across America and other road trips that I did. Like I went to the Ocean City boardwalk that ended up getting destroyed by a hurricane, and a woman predicted it. So there's lots of strange stories that are right around the corner. And the whole story is about, you know, we buy graphic novels and we watch scary movies, and, you know, we watch movies about the Phoenix Lights and oh, Brandon, rest in peace, Brandon Lee the Crow. You know, this is a cursed film. I don't know if you saw my video, but I've been doing cursed films and stuff. Another cursed film, Lord of the Rings. This is when people tell me the best Bigfoot movie, it's either Lord of the Rings or Shrek. Come on. And then they want to say, wait, no, Shrek's an ogre. An ogre? That's a Bigfoot. Don't make me slap you. Don't make me kick you with a Shrek foot, you know? Ogres, orcs, rougarous, werewolves. Dude, Bigfoot is a broad term. Sasquatch is the hairy guy. Don't get me wrong. But Bigfoot, that could be Mothman. That could be the creature from the Black Lagoon. You know, Alien vs. Predator. You know, if it's got a big foot, if it's a mammoth still alive, I'll say that's a Bigfoot. You know, of course, it's going to be used a little different, but I use Bigfoot as a broad term. You know, say Sasquatch if you want to talk about the hairy guy. You know,
and that kind of ties in with your shirt too, man. You got the silhouette of Bigfoot with the question mark on it for Bigfoot Anonymous.
Bigfoot Anonymous. Yeah, the guy who made the shirt, he's like, yeah, do you want the text on it, Bigfoot Anonymous? And he's like, it will cost more. I'm like, nah, man. The Bigfoot is the Bigfoot, and the question mark means anonymous. And shout out to my homie from Sparks from Paranormal. He designed this for me a very long time ago. Thank you, brother. He asked me when we were doing our podcast, he's like, hey, can you send me a logo? And I hand-drawn a bunch of logos, and I sent him. He's like, man, do you have any high definition? And I'm like, no, I'm working on it. And he ended up making it for me overnight, and I'm very thankful. But it's a very cool take on it because Bigfoot Anonymous, I want to anonymously tell people stories as well, or tell, you know, anonymous people. My story, my name's already been out there. I wanted to use like Connor the Countryman, but Connor Flynn, I had to, man. You know, it's hard enough. I already contacted some of my aunts on Facebook, so I had to say Connor Flynn, Eerie Swamps, road trip to Eden. I couldn't be like Connor the Countryman. I would have lost him, man. But it's so wild, man. But yeah, but my next one, the fourth book, is Every Camp Has a Crystal Lake, and that one talks about all the haunted camps and campuses that I have visited. And I am so excited to dive into it and release it because it's already like 85% typed. I'm really just putting the finishing touches on it. And then I have two other ones too. One is called Crooked Calendars and Constipated Consciousness, because October. What month is October? The 10th. Octagon. Come on. October should be the 8th month. September, Septa, 7. Nueve, November, 9. Deca, December, 10. Yep. Why the heck is it 12? Oh my gosh, you know? Days are not 24 hours. They round up, and they got us false praising these false holidays. And like spring is supposed to be, you know, bright and new things rising. Not go to Cleveland January 1st, dude. It's a blizzard. Yeah. That's not spring. Come on, man. Well, the new year is supposed to be an awakening. So it really dives into, I have a chapter for each month, and then I go into like a conspiracy or what they're hiding or how that month is special. It's really freaking cool. And like January is Memento Mori Day, and October is forever. And I'm really pumped about it. But Every Camp Has Its Crystal Lake is going to be so freaking cool because I talk about all the haunted colleges and like crazy drinking stories, and then Mohican school that everybody from my town goes to in 5th grade, and had a couple encounters in my first book that my friends typed up. My buddy Adam, while I was there, he was sleepwalking and he got lured outside, and he thinks something was trying to take him. And it's like potential missing 401 case. And he ended up getting wrapped up by one of the counselors, and they made it all about how he was doing it bad. And I remember being waking up in the middle of the night about it. So it was freaking crazy. And he typed it up in my Letters from Family and Friends chapter. But months before that, my friend Kaylee Kaminsky, she's a clairvoyant girl, always had crazy incidences growing up. She went to the Mohican school. She woke up and she saw 40 ghosts, a whole class of ghosts. It was so crazy. And I remember hearing that because she had to come home a little early and for months ahead of when I was going to Mohican. So I was anticipating something the whole time. And man, half the kids from our grade went home early, like midweek, because they were so sick. And that had something to do with sickness, of course. But there was definitely blankets of strange encounters. And there's 4 schools, like 2 boys and 2 girls, like dorms. And there was only 2 of them being used at the time, 1 girl, 1 boy. So there's a whole empty dormitory with full of windows. So a whole week's worth, we're walking by it, peeking for ghosts, and it was freaking crazy. And my scariest encounter there was I was at the main school part, and I had to go to the bathroom, number 2. I have another number 2 story after this too. I had to go number 2, and the bathroom was being used in the school. So I had to get all dressed up and go all the way back to the dorms, the haunted dorms where Adam just got lured out and Kaylee just saw 40 ghosts months before. So, and the toilets were just holes, like deep holes down, like deep tubes. You've seen those ones before.
Oh, yeah.
And so I get into the dorm and I go all the way back to the bathroom, and like nothing paranormal happened, but it was so freaky being alone, pooping in there, and it being so silent that I heard sounds, but I don't know what it was, and it was crazy. But another story I had involving number 2 is last year in Pascagoula, Mississippi, where the famous story of the Pascagoula River alien abduction happened.
Yes.
2 men were taken in the 70s and taken on a spaceship and experimented on, and more than 1,000 people below on the ground saw a spaceship in the sky. So something happened, But I was going to Biloxi to visit a friend, and I was a whole day early. I ended up going to the Honey Island Swamp, which is a mecca for werewolves and rougarous and Bigfoot and Victor Crawley from the Hatchet series. They say go into the Honey Island Swamp, you'll never come out, But I was meeting my buddy Adam, the one who was getting lured out of the freaking cabin, and that's the thing. Jake, the buddy that had the werewolf, Adam, the one who got lured out of the cabin, these are my day ones, and they still my freaking homies, man. So everything's connected when it's right, when it's meant to be,
Yes, it is.
But I was visiting Adam in Biloxi. His family got a free MGM at the Belle Rivage room. So it's only a couple hours from me, and they're coming from Cleveland, so I was glad to meet them, And the whole day before, I went to New Orleans and the Honey Island Swamp because there was a misunderstanding that I arrived a whole day before early, and I had nowhere to go, so I had to live out of my car again. No biggie, because I've been living out of my car, basically, But I went to the Honey Island Swamp alone and got a picture of strange carcass and potential Bigfoot right here looking from the woods. It's pretty wild. I see a dark face with an eye, pretty clear as day. But got some wild stories in the Honey Island Swamp. But in Pascagoula, the next day we did this gator farm tour, and then we went to Shepherd State Park. And in Shepherd State Park, they have like a walkway above the swamp, like 12 feet, but it was undone completely. And we were pretty far out, and Adam's parents were staying in the car. And jokingly, I did some Bigfoot hoots, and just to try to stir it up. But I was out of line, out of character, because it's cool to do tree knocks and Bigfoot hoops. Maybe if you're in a safe spot, that you could control the environment. Which where could you do that? Basically never. So basically never do Bigfoot hoots, unless you want bad things, because we don't speak that language, and you're gonna get Bigfoot sign and noise anyway. If they're around, you don't have to call for them. You're gonna feel them, But I was just messing around, kind of just stirring Adam up, and I was doing some Bigfoot calls. And then we're jumping from these peg to peg because some of the walkway is incomplete, so it's these tall pegs. And I'm jumping across, and I leap across. And when I land, I just feel a sharp pain in my stomach, and it just like leaks out of me, and I fart and I go in my pants, and I'm
Oh
like, oh
no.
no. Yeah, because I'm like a half a mile from anywhere safe because we're above the swamp, and then I'm with Adam and his parents, so I don't want to embarrass myself too. And I have sensitive skin, so I knew a rash was going to be coming soon, so I had to take care of it. So we keep walking for a while, and I remember I made a video, and it's somewhere on my Instagram. But at that point, I was filming, and I already crapped my pants. Like, and Adam still doesn't know because I wrote about it in the Bigfoot book, the Pascagoula chapter, but I don't think Adam read that far yet. He's taking his time, but but it's so funny that Adam doesn't even know and his parents don't even know, but I crap my pants. But yeah, so I crap my pants, and then we walk for a while more on the high beam, but then we finally get back to the woods. And I'm like, Adam, I gotta go to the bathroom real quick. And he probably just thinks I gotta piss real quick. So he doesn't go that far away. And but I keep walking, but in my head the whole time I'm like, oh no, point of separation. That's like one of the most number one rules on Missing 401. Don't separate, because once you separate, you get taken. Someone gets taken. Either Adam's going or I'm going. So I'm sick at this point, and I was already drinking and dehydrated, so it could have just been anything happening. But I believe that infrasound might have hit me and just sent a shock down me, made me lose myself just for a split second, saw me jump. And, if for them, they're manipulators of time, we're all just vibrations. And if you can really channel it, you could probably make a second feel like a minute, So in that split second when I was midair, he hit me with that beam. I just let loose, man. I land, I'm like, oh, and I just let loose. But I get to the woods, and I tell Adam I gotta go, and I keep going around the corner, and I'm scared to death. And I drop my pants, and I hear this rumbling, like more of them rustling in the woods over there, like probably like 15 yards away. And I drop my pants, and I'm like sensing it, like one eye up and one eye trying to check below. And I see in my pants that I've made a mess. So I start taking my shoes off while looking up, still at that whatever that noise is. And while I'm getting my shoes off, it charges at me. And I have my pants halfway off, and I go like a defensive motion, but it never like broke the plane. I never actually saw a visual of what it was. But I don't know if it knew what was going on the whole time, or it smelled what happened to me and it was maybe curious, or it was the creature that made it happen. I don't know. But I get my underwear off, I pull that off, I take my sock off, I wipe my butt, and then I bury both my socks and my underwear, pull my pants up, then run back to Adam. And he's like, dude, what was that over there? And I didn't know if he was just messing with me or talking about the noise. And I was just like, it's nothing, man. Because I was just so embarrassed. And it was just wild, And I think it's funny now telling that story, because I was so embarrassed at the time with Adam and his parents, but now, dude, I'll tell a story to the world, I don't care. But, it was definitely a strange encounter. And then last year I also had a very strange encounter at Bellamy Bridge, which is like the most famous haunted bridge in Florida. Elizabeth Bellamy, she died on her wedding day, and she told her husband, "I'll forever be with you." And she's still spotted to this day out there, white beams of life. They say she might have died of malaria, and then her baby died of malaria, and then her husband killed himself. But the legend is that she caught on fire on her wedding dress, and then she ran out and jumped into the water off of the bridge to put the water out, and then she died later. But every time you go out there, it's in the Florida swamp. It's about a mile in, and it's an old metal bridge. But I like going for ghost hunting. But dude, you're in the Florida swamp. There's panthers, jaguars, and skunk apes. So I'm ready for that. And I'm gonna release it soon. But I got GoPro footage of a loud whoop, and it stopped us in our tracks. So we were already out there like 3 to 4 hours, smoking CBD, doing meditations, and just really channeling ourselves. And we took that as a message to get the heck out. Well, actually, the hoot was just kind of alerting us. But then, not shortly after, not long after, a tree crashed down, a big tree crashed down, and I just had a knife, and my buddy had a gun. He's a military veteran and stuff, but he was spooked too. He was freaked. I always say, these encounters with our ancestors, our giants, it's scarier than war. War is man versus man. This thing, it's it's a true being of this planet, man. It's like a true angel and demon, the Nephilim from above. Like, damn, the fallen angels fell on Mount Hermon, and Paramount Pictures is, blasting that image all around. Like, it's a freaking joke. I watched the Super Bowl last night on Paramount Pictures Network or something, some kind of stream. Man, did you see the weekend on the Super Bowl performance? Like, dude,
I
they all
did.
got masks on, like slave masks, like those white masks. And then a couple of years ago, if you watch it, they had the mask, like the coronavirus mask. So, dude, it's so scary that they just put the truth right there, and like so many people. Like, I love the game, but gosh, like they hit you with so much subliminals the whole time. There was UFO commercials and stuff, and then Shaq versus Sasquatch in the pregame. Like, dude, they tell me that Sasquatch isn't real, but they eat Jack Legs jerky. Like, give up the jerky if you don't believe he's real. Like, I ain't got time for these people. I really don't. I really don't. And Bigfoot signs come in way different, way different structures and signs. So many different things. People think you just see a Bigfoot or a footprint. No, man, a tree structure, a twist off, a geoglyph on the ground could be something, man. And then if you, incorporate the Fae and the trolls and fairies, dude, what the heck? And I saw you had a missing 401 like dinosaur video. I gotta look into that. That probably has something to do with like reptilians and Middle Earth and everything. Right up my alley,
Yeah, you'll love that. You'll love that. And
yeah, I'll listen to it tonight.
I don't know if it's a secret or not, but Rob, his name is Rob Larson, the guy that was on there for that episode. He has this, this theory of everything, that how it went down, and he's actually writing a book about it right now. So probably in the next couple of months he'll have that finished. I helped do a little bit of editing for him, just did a little proofreading and stuff, and sent the book back to him, and he's doing his finishing touches. So there's going to be a book about his missing 411 dino theory, and
wow,
man, it's pretty cool, man. He's got a lot of good information to back it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's sweet. I'm definitely gonna listen to it, because that sounds freaking awesome. And
he's cool.
I'll try to follow him, or find his social media and maybe reach out to him if it's up my alley, which it already sounds like it is.
Yeah, he's a cool guy, man. He's on Facebook. I know he's on Facebook because we talk just through Messenger. I don't get on Facebook that much lately. I'll get on my Facebook page for the podcast, but as far as personal Facebook, I don't do a whole lot on that anymore. But he's on there.
They're in court right now for stealing our data. Like, people will be like, no, they don't. Well, why is Zuckerberg in court right now? And
why did everybody's Facebook shut down a few weeks ago, like right around the election and stuff, and then everybody had to log back in. I was like, oh, I wonder what kind of update they did,
Yeah. I was on Parler, and they totally took Parler offline. Like, that's crazy, Yeah, and a lot of my story posts get flagged and stuff. I've been dealing with censorship ever since the school newspaper, dude. And I have that on one of the books. It might be one of the future books in like the autobiography section. But I was the head sports writer for the Devilier, the school paper, and I was the editor too. And I was a mixed martial arts writer with my buddy Danny. We ran FPMMA. We covered Stipe Miocic, Fedor Rogers. We went to UFC events, Strikeforce, WEC, Uriah Faber. We were doing it, and we were high school students. We were doing it professionally while we were in a high school class. So we used our newspaper articles from our stuff for the school paper. Just so we could goof off in class and research what we wanted, of course.
Yeah.
And then one of the articles that Danny wrote talked about alcohol being served at the fights, because that was news. That was part of the story. Like, it was something specific to what was going on. Some kind of some kind of knockout special, like a $5 special or something. And then the school ended up taking that we were encouraging underage drinking, which we weren't. At that point, I was a square, dude. I didn't smoke. I didn't drink. I didn't do anything. So they were totally wrong about that. And they tried to expel me. And try to suspend me, expel me. They tried kicking me off the newspaper, but they just stripped me of my editing position, which I was like, fine, less work for me, you know? Like, I still was editor, so really resume-wise, I still write it down. I don't care,
Right.
you
It
know?
still count.
And now they built a chip on my shoulder that I just come at them nonstop because they think they know it all, the education and even like the bone, you know, the giant bone that we have. They're like, oh, you should get that analyzed. By who? The Freemasons? Like, come on, dude. We you know what you know, and I have much respect to professionals and paleontologists and archaeologists, but dude, most of them are in somebody's pocket, and if they have some discovery themselves, they can't even come out with it. You know how many stories they've been told to shut up about. Like, dude, I got nothing for that. I want the truth to get out because truth is awareness. If some of those missing 401 people knew what was really out there, maybe a couple less of them would have went missing. It's so scary that we're not being warned about this, and things are coming up right to people's doors. I know you've seen the Sasquatch face that came from the 11-minute video. There's like 9 different cuts, and it shows the Sasquatch breathing, blinking, like it's clear as day. And I put it on my Facebook a few times just so like my family can never say that they've never seen Sasquatch, because it's clear as day right there. And sometimes I just want to smack these people in the face with the information.
I hate to change the subject, man, but do you have a cat or something?
Yeah, I have 2 cats.
Okay, because behind your right shoulder, I hadn't seen anything move for an hour. Then I see this head pop up, man, and I thought, oh no.
Shadow, yeah, 100%.
I was like, man.
Yeah, 2 cats here, Kodak and Cuddy. Yeah, and
Okay.
I
Cuddy.
also had 2 other cats at my mom's house, Baby and Simba. But sadly, last year, Baby got killed by some wild animal, and that made me question all of this, man, because she got tore apart back there. And I had a love for panthers, gators, rougarou, werewolf. Like I wanted them all,
Yeah.
But my best friend, she was with me in Ohio, and my parents divorced. My sister was really bad into drugs. Baby was there for me in my lowest. Like I could have killed myself. I don't even know, because luckily I wasn't alone when she was there for me, just purring, just being there, just someone to talk to, someone to laugh at, someone to goof around with, and it's just so unfair that she was taken. And I believe in heaven, and I know she's up there, but it was just unfair to be taken that quick. She still had more years. She was only like 10 or 12, which is plenty of years with me, but dude, she could have lived to 20. The neighbor's cat's like 19. I'm like, man, she had a couple, but then parts of me is like, maybe it was mercy compared to like cancer down the road or something. Everything happens for a reason. So I'm in a battle of like, did I make it happen? All this cryptid research and uncovering stuff. Like, did God make that happen? Did the government make that happen? Did coincidence, which I don't believe in, make it happen? Like, it was just so much went through my heart, and then my fact that Simba is still out there, and then Buck, we have a dog out there. If it's a freaking monster, then what's up with them, like, and I'm just so scared in all different angles. I'm like, did I cause this, or is something still out there? And then we set up trail cams, and one of them busted. Like, a bunch of strange coincidences that I don't buy, and I hurt for my baby, and I wish for my other cats. And Simba, she just got out of the vet too, because she had a deep gash, and they think it's from a bobcat. And it's like, God dang it, I love the strange wildlife and getting pictures of weird things, but if they're attacking my homestead, then I have to stand up for myself, and it turns me into a different person that I don't want to be. After she died, I wanted to kill Bigfoot. I wanted to kill werewolves. I wanted to kill everything. Bobcat comes on my property. Wolf comes on my property. Dead. I was not happy. And that's not fair, because that was their property before I moved in. Or before my mom moved in over there. It's like, it's sickening. It's sickening. And then the whole pandemic, how it was pushing animals in new spots. So I was pissed at that. I blame the current world. So just everything going wrong just made me sick, man. And it was a hard hill to jump over. And I have pictures of her in a couple of the books because, dude, she used to fish with us. She'll go on the raft out there. She'd fish with my mom up in Indiana, go under the tunnel up in Ohio. She was part of our adventure. She's in a couple of the books too. Just when we were tripping on LSD and for eclipses and blood moon eclipses and special holidays, we do LSD and there's a seed called Hawaiian baby wood rose, and it has LSA in it. And if you ground it up and put it in a shot glass of water and you extract it and turn it into a drink, you start tripping. And the ancient Indians used to do that all the time. And it shows you revelations that you could never imagine or even come to sober. And man, I've figured some things out, but I've had body buzzes and I've also time traveled. Like, dude, there was
hold on. You've time traveled?
Yes, in my body and mind, I have went to places of decades and other times that just like I could appear. I guess it would be teleportation through time. I guess that's time travel, but I could appear to a story that I was trying to figure out. It was kind of like Sherlock Holmes putting himself into the situation. But there was an MMA fighter that disappeared in the desert long ago, not long, like 8 years ago now. And they never found out his death. And they said, he must have got turned around for something and dehydrated and ran out of water. And he was an expert outdoors. So something had to happen. And I didn't get any for sure answers, but I just was there with him, and when you're tripping and doing DMT, it's beyond language, so it's hard to put into words, but just feelings. Right. I felt him, and I felt like I figured out a murder, but he didn't get. I don't believe he got murdered. I think it was a mixture of the environment. But there's definitely creatures out there. So I don't want to come out and say Bigfoot killed him, but I think something that is involved with the missing 401 cases also killed this MMA fighter, and it's very easy for people to look into. I just don't want to say his name because I don't want any family members to, his family's hurting still, so I don't want to throw my crazy LSA trips, out there. I would want to do it the right way. If I ever met his family one right way, I'd say who I am and say what I did and what I believe. But I would never want the message to be misconstrued. But when we were taking LSD in my backyard, we heard rustling coming from the other side of the barn one time. And we thought it was a deer or my two cats, Simba and Baby at the time. And we were like looking around and we see the two cats right by us. So it wasn't them. And it wasn't a freaking deer because it made our chest rumble again with infrasound. That's why I think in Pascagoula, the infrasound just hit me and I just leaked. I just pooped right there. I think I've been hit with infrasound before and it's kind of loosened me up. But in my backyard on LSA or LSD, we were under the moon and we heard something on the other side of the barn and we went to investigate with a stick and something just hit us like infrasound or some wave that just told us go back, and we just literally internally surrendered and walked right back and just laid down. And me and Jake still talk about that, like what the heck was that? Because you're tripping out and you're like, oh my god, everything is everything, vibes are vibes, we're all just energy, we're just all connected by the cloud, by the roots. But dude, there was some type of massive being over there. Either a massive deer that like knew about us, like a Wendigo or the deer people, or it was a Sasquatch. But I also had an encounter in those woods with a crawler type creature, like the Descent. Those white type creatures like the rake. And I know like the rake is a creepy pasta, they say. But there's also these type of creatures like Gollum from the Lord of the Rings, these white translucent. And I was driving home from family video one time after midnight. I was working and I was getting right at Prospect in Boston. And there's a big trail line that goes from the woods to the woods that crosses. And it was really foggy. And I saw this translucent. This was the clearest. But next to the dog man, my lights were on it, dude. I 100% saw a translucent creature take like the last 2 steps before leaping into the woods. So it had to know I saw it too. And every time I drove by there after that, it like stuck with me. But for some reason, I don't connect that with the creature that came out during the moon, And there's another writer, Lauren Richards, that my mom used to babysit right by our neighborhood. And he told me about other paranormal stuff that happened in those woods, that there's like a witch's stone. And I just think witch's stone, caves, ley lines, anything's possible out there. You know, a cave could have this day and then this another day. You know, caves connect. Creatures move fast. What could be here today might not be here tomorrow. But another time, I had this one girl sleeping over, and my mom was home, so I couldn't have her pull into the driveway because I had to be secretive. So I had her parked in the neighborhood back by the woods, and I had her. Well, I had a whole plan, so I was out there, and you know, I was young, and it was like one of my first times ever being with the girl, so I was like so excited. You know, I was like ecstatic. You know, something was inside me, and I told her I'd wait for her, you know, after a while, but she was super late. I tried calling her. She didn't answer. So I just walk out back by where I told her to park because I thought maybe her phone's dead. Maybe she's back there waiting for me. So I'm back there and I'm still calling her and, you know, cussing, just around it. And again, this is years ago. This is like when I was like 16 or 17. So 10 years ago. I'm in my backyard, neighbor's backyard, but far back there, you know. And I'm waiting for this girl, and I hear something charge out of the woods, and I freaking full speed sprint for my back door at an angle. And my neighbors, they have a pool and a garden, and I knew I was going through the garden, but I wasn't too worried about what was on the ground. But they had metal stakes, and I didn't know that. And one big metal stake went through my lip and like up, cut my face so bad, and then I hit. I'm guessing. It was my left shoulder, so I guess it came from this side. It broke my left collarbone again. You know, shout out to shoulder pain. I told you.
Right.
And then, and then I had this big mark through my lip and like onto my nose, and it looked like a bad canker sore for like 4 weeks. So I was so embarrassed by it, you know. And I'm like, but luckily I had a sling, so it looked like I just got jumped, you know. But so I'm running back. I hit this stake, break my collarbone, bleeding from my face, and I hit the ground, and I just get back up and roll and keep running full freaking speed, run. And then I get down, I run in my back door, slam the door, run to the basement, look at my face, I'm all bloody. Luckily, still on my phone. I finally calling her. Well, no, I wasn't calling her. She called me, and she finally says she's here. Yeah, she says she's here, and I'm so pissed off at that point. But I'm also worried about her, you know, because this creature's still back there. So I'm like, you just gotta get out of here. You gotta leave. And she's like, what? She's like, yeah. I'm like, I can't. I'm fucked. I said I'm effed up or something, you know. And just screaming at her, and I was more pissed. I was like mad because she was late and she made me be out there. Like I was so mad, and she wanted to stay. She was like, oh, you know, giving me good reasons why she would stay and take care of me, and I was just not having it, man. And for me, like in those early days, never had a chance, and then for me to still decline it, like I was rumbled, you know, and then my parents thought I was drunk and stuff because I needed a sling, and my full face, they thought I was drunk and fell down, and I was like, no, something chased me from the woods back there. And we also had another encounter that these two big black dogs chased us on bikes, and white vans used to surround us, so we're all surrounded by spooky stuff, you know. But the witch's ball, which is different from the witch's stone. The witch's ball was a scary place that we always went to and visited when we were kids, like with our football team. You see it pretty well?
Wow.
Yeah, it's a granite ball, and there was a witch named Christoph, or however you say her German name, probably. She was, I think she got divorced, and so her husband left her. Her husband died, so she was lonely, solo for her life, and then she got knocked up, and the guy left her again, and her family was harassing her, saying she was a whore, a slut, you know, making her think like she was nothing, like alone. So she had a family party, and she put arsenic in all their meals, and she killed like 7 or 8 of her family members, dumped them in her well, and then carried on with her day. And they say she had enough arsenic to wipe out the entire town. So if she did, I probably wouldn't have existed, you know. But it's pretty funny. A pretty wild story. But then she's buried under that granite stone, that granite ball. And when it's hot, the ball is cold. And when it's cold, the ball is really hot. And snow won't fall on it ever. And occultists ever come there, and witches from all around the world come to say seances. So that was always a wild spot. And my friend Billy grew up from across from there. And we used to, keep eyes on it. We were the security guards of the graveyard. So anybody that went in after dark, we knew about it. And just takes me back, man. And then there's another place called the Crybaby Bridge that's right by Irma's house. And it's right by a satanic church that they sacrifice babies. But all these stories kind of intertwine, because Crybaby Bridge is a woman that didn't want to keep her baby, and she threw it off the bridge. So that gets intertwined with the Christoph witch's ball all the time. And then there's Irma's house. That's right. It's like a triangle. It's like the Bermuda Triangle, but it's like the Boston Triangle. And the Irma's house, which is also really cool. There's a chapter in Eerie Swamps, and all the pictures, the colored pictures, are phenomenal. But in the book, you can still see it. There are orbs. I'm big on Bigfoot, aliens, and monsters. I'm not flipping through hoops about orbs and stuff, but when orbs are the size of windows, that's an energy ball. That's an energy ball. That's Dragon Ball. Come on, So Irma's house is something special, because to enter, you have to break in through the cellar. And the whole story is she killed her family, sadly, and then sent them down the coal chute, and then she hung herself up in the attic. And the whole thing is, you enter through the cellar and you have to get up to the attic. So you have to go through her whole house. It's really scary. It's really cool. And then the neighbors, they protect it. So they sick dogs on people, and you have to park like a half a mile down the road and then walk through the creek just to get through. So there's a whole story inside Eerie Swamps of that, and it's a mixture of just drunken fun of later years and then high school fun. So it's always been a spot, but now they have Irma's house way boarded up, and it's the police patrol it regularly. So I'm really glad I got to enjoy it and investigate it while I can. And if you Google Irma's house, there's only like one thing you can find about it that tell a story. So it's like, it was my responsibility to tell the local lore, and that's a lot of this. Like, there's another story called White Shoes that right past the fences, you can see a girl's white shoes. So we'd be playing basketball and the ball would roll over there. You'd be like, oh, watch out for white shoes. And the whole story is, she was a little girl. Her dad was an alcoholic. And there was an Alcoholic Anonymous right on the other side of the fence, right by the bowling alley. And he was drinking at the bowling alley, got arrested. Then he was forced to go to an Alcoholics Anonymous. Had to bring his daughter with him all the time. But she couldn't leave his sight, so she couldn't go around that fence. She always just wanted to play with us at the playground. But her dad wanted to see her. So all we could ever see were her white shoes. And then, of course, homeboy relapsed, got in a drunken accident, killed the daughter, and now she lives forever with her white shoes. And man, Southwick Manor, that was just like, well, every night when we slept over there, we were looking for white shoes. And every time we were playing basketball, every time the ball went out of bounds, we were talking about white shoes, So the same people that I was playing in 21 with, will tease me about Bigfoot, but they know that ghosts are real. So it's a funny line to walk, and I know when you're this crazy and this wild, maybe some things do contradict yourself, but growth is big. And I just believe in everything under the sky, mermaids, dragons, Bigfoot. It's not made up. There's truth in all the ancient dialects and tribal stories of all the lands. The indigenous people of Australia talk about the Yowie and the bunny yip. The Chinese talk about the Yeti and the Yeren. Come on, man. Native Americans talk about the Kustaka and all the different wild men that they've encountered. Then they got the Mogollon Monster, the Susquehanna Seal, the Florida Skunk Ape, Tennessee Titans, Ohio Grassman. Come on, the Boogeyman. Come on, the Boogeyman or Bigfoot, the boogers, the wood boogers. Come on, the desert apes.
I just talked to I haven't even released that episode yet. Somebody asked me about, why did you say it's in the booger woods? And I was like, well, because it's their woods. It's the boogeyman. That's that same story my grandma used to, don't go outside, the boogeyman will get you.
Hey,
know.
she was wise and she was trying to help you 100%.
Yep. And I have thoroughly enjoyed talking to you, Connor. And I'm gonna have to wrap it up tonight, but I want to bring you back on, man, because we have a lot we didn't even get to touch on. We
Yeah,
didn't get to
we
talk
can talk
about
for hours for sure.
yeah, bro, for sure. For sure. We didn't get to talk about the stone head I got sitting over here from Cleveland. We didn't get in depth on that whole Mound Builders Avenue. But I definitely want to bring you back on the show, man. If you'll do me the honors of coming back.
Gladly. Yeah, we're just a call away.
Yeah, brother. Give me a little information on how people can find you, how they can get a hold of your books, just all your social media stuff real quick. That way
Yeah.
we can share it.
You guys can find me on Bigfoot Anonymous on SoundCloud. I narrate newspaper articles about the mound builders and Bigfoot encounters from anonymous sources all across the internet. And then also on Instagram, Bigfoot Anonymous. I just made a TikTok, Bigfoot Anonymous. I'm on the road to get 1,000 followers because then you can go live. And going live on TikTok is like really good to boost the numbers. But I think it will be really fun to take multiple people on these haunted excursions with me, and they can screen cap it and maybe discover some things that I can't see. And there's a haunted abandoned house like literally 100 feet behind my trailer over there, so that will be a daily thing that we'll go and go live with them. And maybe I'll just prop my phone up and go into here and smoke some joints while they're watching the haunted house. But
awesome.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm on TikTok. The Chinese got my information because Biden gave it to them. But yeah, you guys can find my books, Eerie Swamps, Road Trip to Eden, on Amazon. Just search my name or that, and it will pop up. And please, buy it. Give me your honest feedback. But make sure you ask yourself. Ask yourself, am I breaking down all the walls? I don't want to hear no third grade feedback. Sometimes my boss will ask me, what about the guys that fly around the world? I'm like, dude, I'll show you the voyage around the world, each stop on a flat earth map. You can, just like if you got macaroni and cheese, you can put your macaroni and cheese all around your plate. It's like, it's silly. Monsters and Mysteries Around the Corner. That's also on Amazon. Big Brother Bigfoot. That one's the thickest. They're all the same price, but man, that one's got some girth. And that one's got some cool pictures of tree structures, blurry Sasquatch faces, tree bends, me next to pyramids and Indian mounds. Went to the Kolomoki Mounds in Georgia recently. They're more than 100 foot tall. No one's talking about pyramids in America. I just went to Georgia Guidestones up in Georgia. They're telling us in 10 minutes. Yeah, I went, man. I did a video up there. So that's what I'm saying. I'm out here. I'm in the swamp. I'm writing books. I'm doing it every freaking day. I'm doing podcasts. I'm diving into it. Come on, man. People they need to wake up. This lazy burnout boy with the long hair, who they want to make fun of. Guess what? I'm taking this more serious than your teacher, your pastor, your favorite athlete, your favorite political person. Come on, man. Stop lying to ourselves and cutting ourselves short. I'm just a voice for the people, for the fallets, for the people that can't speak. I'll gladly be the loudmouth for them because they never got a chance. And some people get intimidated into not speaking. Man, I'll be their voice too. People can come try to intimidate me, man. I had a Sasquatch bend over a tree right in front of me. No man that bleeds is going to intimidate me. Come on, man. I stood right across from Logan Paul, the baddest dude ever, and he backed down, And that's a joke about Logan Paul. But he's about to knock out Floyd. And then so yeah, I ain't scared of nobody, man. I ain't scared of nobody. Stipe Miocic was the baddest heavyweight ever. And he shook my hand like another man. So I ain't scared of nobody. Like the Men in Black, I don't think they're people. So I'm scared of them. They are scary. And again, the movies make a joke about it. Like, haha, they erased your memory. Like, dude, that's not funny. That's not funny at all. They came onto people's property and they wiped out all the Indian mounds and took away the giant skeletons. And whenever they see UFOs, they tell them they did it and they, take away their property. Like, dude, I'm sick of being bullied into silence. Like, people need to wake up. The time is catching up. Like, they can't keep lying, you know? And the people that are trying to say, you know, Bigfoot is a monkey, come on, guys. He's a person. He can speak. They've mated with people. Come on, guys. The people that are pushing the monkey thing got something to hide. The guys that killed the Bigfoot back at Bluff Creek, they all wanted to say it was a monkey after. Because if they ever came out that they killed one, killed a monkey. Big whoop. But if you killed the ancient people of our ancestors, the closest connection to God, then gosh, you guys are sinners at the minimum, you know? They're bad people. But hey, not all Sasquatch are good people. Not all gargoyles are guardians. So, you know, every piece of energy is just malleable to its environment. We have to just keep walking this walk. And I got no choice but to push forward because I got rents due, you know. I gotta sell these books. I gotta get the word out, you know, or the aliens are gonna come for me and take my trailer to Antarctica past the 60th parallel. And so they're gonna do what they did to Saddam Hussein to me. They're gonna say that weapons of mass destruction. No, I just have ancient coins from the Babylonian days of the mound builders, you know. Man, I just wish everybody had a little bit of energy in them. Everybody's just robots nowadays with their fantasy football teams, dude. It's fantasy, dude. Wake up. We're in reality, man. We can dream realities, dream worlds in our heads. Like, we need to stop cutting ourselves short. We can go to heaven, a physical place. We don't just evaporate when we die, man. We have purpose. We're here for a reason. I'm so sick of people cutting it short. So get the word out. Connor Flynn, Bigfoot Anonymous. Coincidence is the only thing that never exists. Energy's never created nor destroyed. Bigfoot's real. Werewolves exist. Watch out for the dog man. Tell people when you're going hiking. Practice safe sex. Practice safe travels outside. 100%, man. Get yourself a personal locator beacon. I tell my mom everywhere I'm going. Just because, bro, you gotta tell someone you trust, because a couple hours is the difference between life and death. And if you're going hunting with two people and they don't know to shoot a gun off to freaking mark themselves if you're lost, then find some new hunting buddies, you know? And all these hunting guys that want to act like they know it all, no. People are going missing. People are going missing. We have to wake up. You have to be safe. If you have a gut feeling telling you no, get out, no, get out. Listen to your sixth sense. Bruce Willis, Haley Joel Osment, they'll all tell you that. And then watch out for Zillafoot. I'm in a movie coming out, and it's a combination of Bigfoot and Godzilla. And I play a cryptid research officer, pretty much myself. I go and warn the military that this monster's coming, and they freaking don't believe me. and the monster comes, man. I tried to warn y'all. I tried to warn y'all about all of this. I told you to wash your hands back in 2016. You should have listened.
I love it. Connor Flynn, one of my new favorite people on this planet, man.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. That's a big foot. That's a woman's foot. That's a woman's foot. That's Patty. That's a replica of the Patty footprint. Rest in peace, Patty.
That's
man.
Right.
Rest in peace.
Patty.
I hope I'm wrong. I hope she's still alive. But M.K. Davis and the massacre theory and Bobby Short, sadly the stars aligned. And all the Bigfoot people that get mad at me for saying that, that's fine. But it's a shame. I feel their pain too, because we take pride in this Bigfoot stuff, and the most famous image, there's a dark conspiracy to it. And some people say, oh, it's not even real. Well, it is real, and the way they got the footage is a little fishy, and that's what's sad. And some of these people are looked at as heroes when really they're zeros. And some people they're trying to wipe these Sasquatch people off the planet and trying to silence the families. And those people know who they are. And I'm not one of those people. I'm trying to get the voice out. I talked to this man today from the Ocheezy Pond. This is one of my last things I'm going to say. Ocheezy Pond. People look it up. Ocheezy Pond Wildman. In the 1800s, they captured a Bigfoot there because it was harassing the women and children. Native Americans and Civil War veterans captured a Bigfoot, and they sent it to the Chattahoochee Hospital. Everybody that is in the area knows this. that they buried one out there because it died 3 years later because they thought it was a mental patient. Well, today, an old man found me because he was told that I'm the Bigfoot guy, and he lives in Ocheesee Pond, and he's had more than 10 encounters. And I was trying to get him on video today to do one of my fun little interviews just at my shop. Well, he gave me his card and his address. I'm going to go to his house hopefully on Wednesday or Thursday and do some on the field investigating of the Ocheesee Pond. And that's Bigfoot realm territory, man. Everybody that says, oh, I don't believe till they have a body. Come on. How ignorant on so many levels. Like, you want to kill something. That's stupid. And then two, come on. There's a Bigfoot body right in Ocheesee Pond, well, right at the Chattahoochee Hospital, right by the golf course. Go do your little static sonar stuff if you really want to, but just don't dig it up. He doesn't deserve that. He already was locked up for no reason. And then two, Mount St. Helens. Talk to the firemen. Listen to some radio shows, people. They recovered like 68 Bigfoot bodies from the river. Like, guys, wake up. Like, just because you believe what's in the square doesn't mean watch. You believe what's in the square. Like, right there, you know?
Yep.
Let me end it with a song.
Yeah. Let me hear that song, man. And if you don't mind, I'd like to keep this. I'll play it on my outros for a little while, if that's all right with you.
Oh yeah, dude, keep it. Use it however you want. All my rants, man. The earth is flat. Bigfoot is real. Our giants are ancestors. Save that audio bit. The election was stolen, and anybody that wants to talk about it can talk about it. If they want to fight, I'm 2-0 in MMA. Watch the back spinning back fist on YouTube. I knocked a guy out and broke his face in 6 seconds. Talk about it. But I'm not a tough guy, but I'm just saying, I fight for our country, you know? Like, I'm patriotic, dude. I'm proud to be American, where at least I thought I was free. All right, this song is called History Repeats, but it's about her. There's a nighttime in her eyes and she comes alive. There's moonlight in her blood and she does it real good. The monster in the swamp can smell her coming. It's hell of the eye. You better get to running. It's nighttime in her eyes and she comes alive. Fireflies in the sky when she dances around the fire. Stars shine bright, but they stay down in desire. The one they chose to tell her no never came back, never told a soul. It's nighttime in her eyes and she comes alive. Down by the river, they called her a sinner. She ran every summer, hid every winter. It's nighttime in her eyes and she comes alive. And I wrote that, man. Drake don't write his songs. Madonna didn't write her songs. Come on, man. I'm writing books. I'm in the swamp. I'm writing my own music. It's authentic. I'm representing the soul. That's what I'm saying. I just represent the soul. That's all. I'm not even good at guitar. I taught myself recently just to get more words out. Like, it's about the soul. They could say, oh, it's not tuned. It's dusty. It just matters about the story being told. And that's what I'm proud of, getting the dang message out. Because guess what? Kill the messenger. You guys already did it to my boy Gary Webb from the Plain Dealer. That was my dream to write for the Plain Dealer until I found out they just killed him. You know? Come on, man. Get the word out. Energy's not created nor destroyed. It's always existed. We're under the firmament. Heaven is real. The soul exists. Bigfoot anonymous, man. V for Vendetta. Remember, the 5th of November. Come on. People need to wake up. Watch a movie once in a while. Turn off the reality TV and the news and watch a movie and see through the movie. Because most of it's subliminal, but some of it's real.
Yes, it is. Connor, I love you, man. I do. Thank you so much for doing this.
Brother. I appreciate it. And everybody grow out your hair. because they're antennas. They're antennas to the universe. You wouldn't cut a cat's whiskers. Come on, man. You wouldn't chop the sunflower down when it's about to bloom. There's studies on Native Americans when the military, they would creep up on them when they had their long hair, and they would sense it. Once they cut their hair off, they'd creep up on them at night, they'd get all up to them and cut their throat. Dude, what is the first thing they do in the military? They cut your hair. It's either go bald like a monk or grow it long like Jesus Christ the Dark, you know? So it's like, come on, man. I walk my walk, I step my step, and I fight my fight, man, for the soul, for my people. And if the election was real and those numbers are real, then I'm fighting for a bunch of freaking idiots. And I don't believe that. I believe the election was totally fraud and rigged. And it's just like this morning if they said the Chiefs won. The Chiefs won. We're gonna ban Brady from Twitter, and then we're gonna ban everybody that wears red. The Chiefs won. Yeah. And if you have a Buccaneers flag, you're ignorant. You know, I'm patriotic, man. I love what I love, and I love the soul, and I hate hate. I hate hate, and I'm gonna come full at it, man. People might think I'm crazy and aggressive, but guess what? You have to meet fire with fire. You have to meet fist with fist. If I come ice cold to the fire, I'm gonna melt. And I've already melted, and I've put together my time coming back together, and they ain't gonna melt me down again, man. They ain't gonna. I survived the 27 club, and now I'm coming for the 69 club. Mile high.
Carter, thank you, brother. I'm gonna leave on that note, man.
I'm looking forward to watching this back again, and looking forward to our next episode for sure, man.
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna send you a couple of links when we get off here too. We got some similar thoughts here, man. I'll holler at you.
Definitely, man. And definitely try to work on your book as much as you can, man. Even baby steps. And like how I did it, like each of my chapters is a different story. So I never just went to one. I just went to what my body felt. So just do what's right to you, but don't ever underestimate yourself, man. When you wake up in the morning, that energy is powerful. Those thoughts are powerful. Jot it down, get it down, because on next Thursday, you'll be like, all right, I got somewhere, you know, and it piles up. Dude, I wrote three books from my bed, and the world was against me. And I feel like I finally got a punch back. So, you know, I know you've been punching back in your ways, but I'm rooting for you as a writer too. Definitely get them words on the paper, and I'll be one of the first ones to buy it.
Hey, thanks, brother.
No problem, bro.
I'll holler at you in a minute.
The people need to read between the lines.
That's right. Amen.